let's play some football. To the best of the 14U boys quarterfinal flag action. Here we are with the Bills trailing the Raiders 13-12. Best game winner. Bills stun Raiders with the Hail Mary. Sean Finnegan hauls it in to give the Bills a dramatic win. These kids are so talented. It's insane to watch. Football's in a good place.
Bro, these 14-year-olds on SportsCenter making plays like this. Jalen, Aguero. If it wasn't for Bryson Wright, Aguero would have had the catch of the day. That's nasty work right there.
It's so true.
Absolutely sniping them.
Glad we showed it. 49ers trail the Panthers 14-6 with time winding down. And they complete the catch. And an 8-point comeback. Touchdown and 2-point conversion ties it up at 14 as time expires. These kids are poised and ready to ball. My Lord.
I'm telling you what, the hair on some of these players just as good as the catches, including the salad atop Bryson Wright's dome. And everyone's dome exploding because they can't believe the catch that Wright just made. Like I said before, half Randy Moss, half Odell Beckham. Damn, boy.
Sam Acho joins SportsCenter now. And Sam, it feels good to watch these kids just tear up the football field because it's getting us ready for when the football season actually gets here. So what's the best catch that you've ever seen in a game?
It's the second half of the name you mentioned right on that last catch. It's the Odell Beckham catch back in 2014 on the sideline versus the Dallas Cowboys while getting held. That put Odell Beckham on the map. I remember watching that catch and saying, okay, no, this can't be real. This can't be right. This can't be human. But it was all three. It was real, it was correct, and it was human. Odell Beckham Jr. was making plays like that in college, but he did it in the NFL while being held against NFL pros, putting himself on the map. And so that catch for me was the best catch I've ever seen.
Yeah, to me, it's kind of like Steph Curry shooting logo threes. Once he started doing it, everybody shot logo threes. Once Odell caught that one-handed catch, everyone's making one-handed catches. Now, I mentioned football is not too far away. We're 7 Sundays away until the first NFL Sunday. So, Sam, what are some of the biggest questions you want answered this upcoming season?
Number one, George Pickens. Will he be a distraction to the team or will he be a big-time addition to the team? George Pickens is one of the most talented receivers in the entire National Football League. But last year in Pittsburgh, we saw some high highs and some low lows. Which version of George Pickens will you get? Will you get the George Pickens that is truly a number one receiver? Or will it be the George Pickens that was in and out of the lineup? That's part one. But part two, Travis Hunter. I want to see where will he start, but also where will he star? Will he start at wide receiver? Will he start at DB? Will he start at both? And then will he be a star at either one or both? I think Travis Hunter has the potential to be a star on both offense and defense. James Gladstone, their GM, I believe he thinks the same. But do NFL offenses think he's the same? Will they try to attack him on defense? Will NFL defenses attack him when it comes to the offensive side of the ball? So I cannot wait to watch not only what George Pickens does, but also Travis Hunter this year in the NFL.
I love all those questions, and I can't wait until they're answered. So we begin the countdown saying NFL football season can't come soon enough. We appreciate you joining SportsCenter.
All right, Acho's got questions. I have answers to some bets you can make right now as we wait for the NFL season to start. Question, what's my favorite win total bet to attack right now? It's the Dallas Cowboys over 7.5 wins, minus 145 at ESPN Bet. It all comes down to this. If Dak Prescott's going to be healthy, they're going to win 8 games. He's done it every single year. He has played at least 14 games. So if he is missing games, we're screwed. If he's playing games, Dak has a floor of at least 8 wins. I do think George Pickens is going to be a good addition to that offense alongside CeeDee Lamb. Question number 2, what's my favorite awards market bet? It's number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward, to be the offensive rookie of the year. That's the answer right there. He's not the favorite. How often do we see a number 1 overall pick at quarterback not be the favorite to win Rookie of the Year? That's Raiders running back Ashton Jeanty, who I think is going to be good. But I think the value's on Ward, because if he stays healthy and plays all 16 games, it's likely 17 games. It's likely going to go to a quarterback. Question number 3. What's my favorite player prop bet. This is a milestone market with Caleb Williams to go over 4,000 passing yards. I think with Ben Johnson and the draft picks and the additions to the O-line, he becomes the first Bear in history to throw for 4,000 yards at QB. It's plus 250 at ESPN Bet. Final question. Here's my answer to the favorite long shot bet of the season, Tyreek Hill to lead the NFL in receiving yards at 16-1. Remember, before last year's disastrous season, he had 1,700 yards in back-to-back years. I think Tyreek can do that again at 16-1.
It's that time of year, time to go camping in the NFL. Veterans report to camp tomorrow for both the Chiefs and Cowboys, and Dallas has their work cut out for them. A new head coach with playoff aspirations, while the Chiefs look to not only dominate in the AFC West, but return to the Super Bowl for the 4th straight season and win their 4th Lombardi in the last 6 years. Reporting now to SportsCenter is our football analyst, Sam Acho. And Sam, Dak's healthy. George Pickens joins CeeDee Lamb in that wide receiver room. And everything will be led by new head coach Brian Schottenheimer. So what are the realistic expectations for this Dallas team?
It is realistic for the Dallas Cowboys to make the playoffs, but the reality is they're vying for 3rd place in the NFC East. Why do I say that? Yes, they have weapons on offense, George Pickens being one of them, but the defense was one of the worst in all of the NFL last season. They have a new defensive coordinator in Matt Eberflus. They have some new pieces, guys like Kenneth Murray, DeMarvion Overshown should be healthy. But I still have concerns about this team because why? You think about how much better Philadelphia's gotten with their draft. You think about how much better Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders have gotten. I think the Dallas Cowboys can compete for a playoff spot, but it's going to be a difficult run. I don't see them winning the division. I don't see them being a 12 or 13 win team. But if they can win at least some games outside of the division, they can compete in the playoffs.
Yeah, look, it's been 30 years since the Cowboys last won the Super Bowl. They have just 5 total playoff wins since being in Super Bowl 30, so they got a long way to go. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have won 6 playoff games in the last 2 seasons, and they've owned the AFC West for 9 straight years. However, the Broncos and the Chargers, they just made the playoffs last season, and you can't sleep on those Raiders upgrades as well. Any chance KC's streak doesn't get to 10 this season?
There is a chance. There is a chance. I'm not saying it's a huge chance, but there's a chance. The reason why is look at the first 6 games of the regular season. We'll start, if you want to start backwards, we can do that. They have teams like the Detroit Lions at week 6. Week 4, you got the Ravens. Week 2, you got the Eagles. And you start off week 1 with the division rival in the LA Chargers in Brazil. I think that game versus Chargers could determine who wins the division. Why do I say that? The Chiefs have a couple question marks at left tackle. Will Josh Simmons be healthy? But more than that, these other teams they're playing, like the Chargers, have gotten better. They're more consistent. The Raiders have gotten a little bit better. And I even think the Denver Broncos, with their additions with Evan Ingram at tight end, with the second year of Sean Payton and Bo Nix, they've gotten better as well. Everyone else is catching up to the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think that their early season schedule could prove very difficult when it comes to those head-to-head matchups and potential tiebreakers if they're going to win the division for the 10th straight year.
Look, the division is catching up. However, my money is on the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, 35-5 record in division games. That's all I need to know, Acho. Thanks so much for that insight right there.